Hi, I'm Melissa Clark from the dining section, and I'm going to show you how to trim asparagus. First of all, there are different kinds of asparagus. There are super skinny, pencil thin ones. There are nice, fat, chunky ones. And then you've got these. These are kind of in between. When you have the really small, pencil thin asparagus, you don't need to peel them because their skins are nice and tender. You can just go ahead and eat them. And then when you have the really big, fat ones, you definitely need to peel them because the skins are tough. For these guys, I'm going to keep the skin. It looks smooth and unblemished, so it's good to go. The next thing you want to do is trim off the bottoms. Now, asparagus grow from the bottom up, so the bottom is always going to be tougher and more fibrous than the tips, which are really tender. But the question is, at what point do you trim? Standard wisdom says that you should take the asparagus and kind of bend it in your hand and see where it naturally snaps. Other people like to take off more of the bottom and just have a little bit of the top. You can do it that way if you want, but I think the snapping method is pretty reliable. You always want to peel the bottom part because that is the part where the skin tends to be tough. Then I'm just going to cut off about the last ½ inch. And then just thinly slice them into little rounds. If you're sauteing or stir-frying your asparagus, you can add these little rounds right to the pan along with the spears. It'll all cook in the same amount of time. Or save them up, and then the next time you make an asparagus soup, just pull them out of the freezer and add them to your pot. By the way, always give your asparagus a good rinse before you start to trim them. They can be kind of dirty at the bottoms, especially if you get them from the farmer's market. And that's it. Your asparagus are ready for whatever recipe you want to use them in. And one cool tip for you. Do you see how this asparagus tip is curving upward? Well, I just learned this from Harold McGee. That's because even after asparagus are harvested, they're still growing. And if you store them flat like this, the tips are going to grow upward. So if you want a nice straight spear, always store your asparagus upright. Asparaguses? I don't know, asparagus?